Glenn.
Good morning, Steph.
Okay, am I hyperbolizing? Or is this New York Times story really gobsmacking?
You know, it shouldn't surprise us all that the Durham Probe was not only pointless and counterproductive, but it was perhaps also corrupt. I mean, the whole notion of, investigators looking into the Trump-Russia connection, and they found connections, more than 140 contacts between the Trump campaign and Russians, and Bob Mueller documented multiple instances of Donald Trump criminally obstructing justice. But Bill Barr and Donald Trump didn't like it, so they launched an investigation of the investigation. And now, man, the New York Times has just broken wide open how ugly and unethical it was inside the Durham investigation.
So I'm not even sure. One of the tweets I mentioned is our friend AG from Mueller. She wrote, said, as special counsel, Durham owes us a declination memo for the Trump crimes he investigated. I mean, the jaw-dropping part, Glenn, is not just the cover-up, or the, them in terms of, looking for some, wrongdoing in the origins of the Russia inquiry, which there were none, but that Italian officials alerted them to new crimes, financial crimes by Donald Trump, which he put Durham in charge of, and Durham oddly found nothing.
Yeah, and look at what happened when they found that foreign government officials had evidence of Donald Trump's financial crimes. First of all, the fact that Barr and Durham are globe-trotting, asking foreign officials for dirt on the U.S. law enforcement and intelligence communities, it is pretty absurd and despicable. But then when the Italian officials pushed back, they said, no, we don't have that kind of dirt you're looking for, but we do know of some potential financial crimes by Donald Trump. Here's the thing, Seth. That should have then been handed off to other independent federal investigators and prosecutors. Why? Because Durham was involved in an investigation that was viewing Donald Trump as a victim of this corrupt cabal of the deep state. And now Donald Trump is not a victim, but a perpetrator. And Bill Barr, with a wink and a nod, says, hey, John, why don't you just handle this one as well? I mean, talk about what we call a de facto conflict, an actual conflict. You can't be investigating somebody as both victim and perpetrator. And then it was buried. We know nothing more.
But even these two guys who existed to cover for Donald Trump knew this was serious and credible enough that they had to do some investigation. I mean, and so clearly that's what I'm wondering. Do we get a declination memo? What happens with this now? Now that this is all public?
We should. I mean, if they're strictly applying the special counsel regulations, we should get a declination memo. There should be some daylight, some transparency on the decisions that were made with respect to whether to charge or decline to charge people. Do we think we're actually going to get any of that out of John Durham? And I hasten to add, who knows what Merrick Garland is going to do with any of this, because he hasn't exactly come through for us on the accountability front, I'm going to say, not because I believe he's corrupt, but because I believe he's apparently the wrong man for this dangerous moment in American history. So do I expect to see a full, robust declination memo that explains, what they did? I don't think so, because they're going to have to talk about their own corruption and unethical behavior, and I don't think we're going to see that.
Yeah.